Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can do redirects on Cloudflare with Cloudflare Workers. And Cloudflare Workers is a very powerful tool that you can use to do a whole lot of things. And in this video, I'm going to focus just on redirects. So, for example, if you're familiar with, I'll just give you some actual examples I have here. So, for example, I have a website, mandarinportal.com, and if someone goes to animations.mandarinportal.com, it gets redirected to mandarinportal.com/animations. And I made this tool a while ago. It actually uses a bit of someone else's code. I didn't make most of this, but I use some of this code. Anyway, so it's a tool for practicing and learning Chinese characters. It shows the animation. So that's just one example of a redirect. Animations.mandarinportal.com redirects to mandarinportal.com/animations. And I'm sure you've probably seen on the internet many different types of redirects. Sometimes redirects on the same website to the same website, sometimes from one website to another, and so on. So anyway, in this video, I'm going to focus on how you can use Cloudflare Workers, and I'm going to give you real code that you can use and edit yourself. We're going to end up using something like this, but don't worry, you don't need to understand coding. I'm going to walk you through all the steps, and basically what you'll end up doing is copying most of this and just modifying lines like this to do what you want to do. So again, you don't need to understand any of this code really. You just need to be able to modify basically one or two lines, and I'll walk you through it. So I'll try to make this as tech friendly as possible. But again, Cloudflare Workers are very powerful and very useful. So I'll show you with my domain exampleeshop.com. And actually with exampleeshop.com, I don't actually have a server besides Cloudflare. And you can definitely do redirects. You don't have to actually have a server or a website. But I do want to say that technically for this video to work for you, you do need to have at least an A record. If you already have a website and A record points to it, then you can ignore this. But make sure that if you've just put your site on Cloudflare and you don't actually have a server to host it, you have to have at least an A record on Cloudflare. So you would just, I'll show you how you can do that real quick. So I'll delete this and I'll show you what I'm. So if you want Cloudflare to basically be a be like a sort of a web host, really, you don't actually have a website up yet, you can have Cloudflare do that. And all you need to do is create an A record, and you'll put the name is the @ symbol, or you can use the same domain, but I'll just use this symbol, and then type in this IP address. You don't need to understand what it's doing, but you do need this for this video to work. Otherwise, if you already have an A record for your domain, then you can keep that. Otherwise, you should have something like this. Okay, so first I want to point out before I talk about Cloudflare Workers, I want to talk about another way to do redirects, and that's specifically with page rules. So if you go to rules, then page rules, you can make a redirect. So this is just an example here. If I go to exampleeshop.com/something, you can do that, and you can then do a forwarding URL, and you can choose if it's temporary or permanent. I would choose 301 just by default. And then if I want to enable this, I can save this. So this will go to gutenberg.org. That's a site for getting free books. I think most of them or all of them are public domain. So for example, if someone wants to go to exampleeshop.com/something and the rule is enabled, here's what will happen. I'll go like that, And then, okay, so that was actually cached. I previously had to go to google.com, but let's see what's, it should go to Gutenberg. It's a second here. Okay, so I guess for some reason yeah, it was turned off. That's probably why it wasn't working. Okay, we'll try it again. Okay, so it was cached, which means that the computer saved it as previously going to Google, but now it should work, I hope. Okay, yeah. So it just went to gutenberg.org. I'm using incognito mode, so it doesn't use the cache, but I'll show you one more time here. So if you go to exampleeshop.com/something, it should redirect to Gutenberg. All right, and since I've already mentioned about Google, maybe I can show you when to redirect here. Let's say we don't want to go to Gutenberg. Let's say we want to go to, let's say, finance. Let's go to finance.yahoo.com in case you're interested in stocks or anything like that. Let's go, we can do an example. Okay, let's edit this. Let's say exampleeshop.com/finance. All right. So if someone goes to exampleeshop.com/finance, they should get redirected to finance.yahoo.com. Okay, so they just got redirected. So that's with Cloudflare page rules, and you actually can only have 3 page rules, which means that if you wanted to do redirects, you'd only be able to do three redirects. And you know that can be fine if you just have 3, but let's say you have many redirects. This kind of a solution probably isn't going to work for you unless you use some complex regular expressions, which I'm not going to discuss in this video. But even with complex regular expressions, you still only have 3 page rules. But with Cloudflare Workers, you potentially have hundreds, maybe even thousands of redirects you can use, all for free. So I definitely recommend using Cloudflare Workers if you have a lot of redirects. Okay, so I'm gonna disable this page rule. So now this redirect will no longer work. And I'm going to quickly go over some page rules, some Cloudflare Workers stuff. Okay, let's see here. So with Cloudflare Workers, it's free. It's really amazing. And basically, you're allowed to have 100,000 requests a day, which is a massive amount for the free one, or 1,000 requests per minute. And now basically most people's websites won't get this unless maybe you're a famous blogger or you already have a famous high traffic website. But for the vast majority of people, I think this is more than enough. And yeah, so Cloudflare documentation is quite good. But basically Cloudflare Workers is super fast, super amazing, and I highly recommend it. So like I said, we're going to end up using some code like this, but again, you don't need to understand JavaScript or how this code works. I'll explain it all, and I'll also try to link to it in the description. So, okay, so I've just disabled the page rule. Like I said, you can do page rules here, you can do redirects, but that's very simple redirects. You can only do basically 3 of them. Again, unless you have some complex regular expressions, which I won't discuss. But so let's talk about Cloudflare Workers now. Okay, so to get started with Cloudflare Workers, you need to go to click on this, Workers Routes. And then what you're going to end up doing is going to Manage Workers. So here, Manage Workers. So we're going to end up creating a worker, and a worker is basically just some code that works with Cloudflare to do a whole lot of things, but we're just going to use the workers for doing redirects. So I'm going to click on Create Worker, and I've decided to call it this. You can call it whatever you want, basically. You just have to use ASCII characters, like Latin alphabet and numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So I'm going to call it this. You could have just called it whatever. You can call it whatever you want, okay? So it's gonna show you this. Just I'm gonna click on create hello worker, hello world worker, or you're gonna click on deploy. So first you just give it a name, and then it'll give you some default code, but you don't need to worry about the code again. So what it's gonna do is you're creating the worker, and you'll see probably something like this. What we're gonna end up doing is go to edit code. So that's edit code. And this is the code that we need to edit. Okay, and anything in something like this is called a comment block, and we can delete all this. This is just for the human reference. And if you have a line like this, this is a line of code. The computer will ignore this. Okay, so these are called comments, and they're just for people to read. The computer will basically ignore it if it's like that. And then this is some code that it actually uses to run. This happens to be JavaScript, but you don't need to know any JavaScript. I'm going to walk you through all the steps. So I'll link to this code here, and you can use it in your own Cloudflare worker and copy it and edit it as you like. So what I'm going to do is use this code and use it like this. So, and I've made some comment lines. You can delete these lines. You can delete this line. You can delete this. You can delete this. You can also delete this. That's just a comment. Please leave this bottom part, leave it as is. I don't want to explain what it does, but it's useful to keep this and keep this here. So basically all you need to worry about is the stuff in between. So it says const redirects equals, and then it has this curly brace and it ends with another curly brace. All you're going to end up doing is working on stuff inside here, and I'll show you how it works. So again, you don't need to understand any of this code other than you have basically this line and this line that will modify, and you can also delete any of the comments. You can delete this. Just make sure you don't touch any other code. Okay, so I just made this code here, and I'll explain it in just a moment. So if someone goes to, for example, exampleeshop.com/example link 1, what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up going to olama.com, and then if someone goes to exampleeshop.com/reading, they'll get redirected to gutenberg.org. So before this all works, though, there's a few steps we have to do to get it started. So first we're going to do deploy. So I'm going to click on deploy, and that's basically saving it. Okay, so you see at the bottom it says version saved. So what we're going to end up doing is go back to the main menu. And again, I'll walk you through all this. You don't need to, you don't really need to understand the coding. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. Okay, so go to settings. Here we're going to go to settings. The next step we need to do is we need to create a route. And a route is like, for example, yeah, so for example, if it's exampleeshop.com/something, the /something is a route. And I don't want to go explain exactly all this other than you just need to know you're creating a route. But I'll explain what we're doing here. So we're going to go look for domains and routes, and let's disable this this one. Click on, that's the default code. We're going to disable it. We don't need it anymore. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to go add a new route. So we're going to click on add and then custom domain. So what you're going to do is go to example so whatever your domain is, you're going to go your domain example-eshop.com/star. Okay, star means it's a regular expression term that means anything. And if you know about coding and regular expressions, you can definitely make a different route. But I'm going to show you this route because it makes it simple. And I didn't want to discuss about coding or regular expressions. So in this example here, I'm going to go to example-eshop.com/star. And what that basically does, sorry. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to say custom domain. I picked the wrong one. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to click on add for domains and routes, and then you're going to go to route. So do not do custom domain, at least if you're following me for this video. I'm going to go to route, and it says here map a URL pattern to your worker. So you're going to click on the zone, and the zone should be the website that you have, the domain that you have. In this example, it's example-eshop.com, and you can have a route like start@example-eshop.com/. This means any subdomain dot your domain / anything, but I'm just going to do example-eshop.com/anything. I'm not going to assume you have any subdomains. Okay, and like I said, it has 100,000 requests per day, and for most people, that's more than enough. Okay, so again, one more time. What you're going to do to make the route is click on Domains and Routes, click Add Route, and then select the zone. If you have multiple domains on your Cloudflare account, make sure you choose the right domain. And I'm going to choose this one, example-eshop.com, and the route is /star or /*. And again, that's just going to allow us to do our redirects. Okay, so now that the route is up, we can go back to the workers. Okay, so if you're on your Cloudflare account, again, go back to workers routes, and now you should see a new route, example-eshop redirects, and you can see that. We're going to go back to manage workers. And this is the worker we want to deal with, but make sure you change the name for yourself. And then again, going back to settings, we have this is the route. So this is the route that the code is going to work with. And again, to go to the code at the top, we go back here. Up here, we'll go edit code. And this is back to what I had showed you earlier. And this, again, what's going to end up happening is if I go to example-eshop.com/example-link1, it's going to go to olama.com. And if I go to example-eshop.com/reading, it'll go to gutenberg.org. So let me now show that to you. So the redirect should be set up now. You see, it just went to olama.com. And Olama is a way to run large language models on your own computer, AI LLMs. And then let's do one more here. Remember I said /reading. Go to example-eshop.com/reading. It should redirect to Gutenberg. So yeah, that is pretty amazing. Yeah, I think that's very cool. And let's just say, for example, I want to redirect to one of my sites, say Learn Chinese. Okay, mandarinportal.com. And it's not important necessarily to have the slash at the end, unless most of the time you could have it just like that, and the actual site will actually redirect to the one with the slash. I don't want to go into the details of that, but you can just keep it simple. So I've made a new redirect. Okay, I just did that, but I didn't save it yet. First, you have to click on deploy, and deploy basically means to save. So if I go to example-eshop.com/learn Chinese, it should go to mandarinportal.com. And let's see if it's going to work or not. Okay, so it just redirected to Mandarin Portal. And so I just showed you here now 3 examples, right? These are 3 examples of redirects, but you can actually now choose to delete the line. You can delete the line like that, or you can just choose to comment it out. If you comment it out, the redirect will stop. It's effectively like deleting the redirect, but you can still keep it there and re-enable it if you want later on. You would just need to delete these the comment line. So let's disable that for now, or even just I'll delete that. And then let's say, for example, you don't want this redirect. That's totally fine. And then yeah, so, and then of course you can make whatever redirect you want. And then I'll do one more example here. Let's say you want to go to Wikipedia. Say I want /wiki to go to Wikipedia. So to make a whole new one, all you need to do is copy a line like that. You can paste it and just edit it like it is. So and by the way, lowercase or uppercase, it does matter. So if I had it like that, uppercase W, uppercase I, uppercase K, uppercase I, make sure that you point to the right link, otherwise the redirect might not work. So for example, if I went to example.eshop.com/lowercase wiki, that probably wouldn't work, but it would work if I went to the uppercase one, assuming I want to keep the uppercase. Okay, so I just made this this link here, but I haven't saved it. So again, if you want it to work, you're going to go to deploy. So deploy is basically save. And then I would go to, and just to show you what I'm talking about, example eshop.com/lowercase wiki won't work because I haven't set up the redirect, but the uppercase one will work. So let's deploy. Okay, it's been saved. And then just to show you that it's not going to work, it's going to time out. But if I go to the big one, uppercase, so uppercase letters, so this is just going to time out. So go back here. Okay, so in conclusion, I just showed you how to do some redirects with Cloudflare Workers, and Cloudflare Workers are incredibly powerful and incredibly useful. I'm going to point to this code here that you can copy it and you can edit it as you want. So for example, you can get rid of both of these redirects and put your own redirects. Let's say you have hundreds or dozens or even thousands of redirects. This should work. And again, with the page rules in Cloudflare, you can only have 3 page rules. So, so Cloudflare Workers is a way to allow yourself to get a whole lot more redirects. And as a quick recap, so when you're logged into your account, first you're gonna make a worker. So you'll create a worker, and then once you have the worker, you're going to edit the code. So you'll put most of this code in here, and you'll just modify these redirect lines, and you can delete the comments. A comment, again, is anything with a // or the other type of comment I mentioned earlier in the video. And then after you have that, then what you're going to do is you need to make sure you have a route. So under domains and routes, you're going to click add, define the domain and routes. You're going to go to add, And then under route, you're going to select the correct zone, which is your website, and then you'll do something like this. If you know about coding in regular expressions, you can change this to do whatever you want. I just wanted to keep this simple and not have to go into complications. And again, I personally use Cloudflare Workers. Okay, so actually, I use this redirect. I use a page redirect, so a page rule, and I want to show you some actual real redirects I use with Cloudflare Workers on another one of my sites, on whatsintechworld.com. So for example, I don't know if I've put these in a video before, but if someone goes to whatsintechworld.com/DigitalOcean, they'll get redirected to my affiliate link for DigitalOcean. And similarly for Namecheap, this is redirecting for Namecheap. So it's my Namecheap affiliate. Most people probably don't want to deal with a super long link like that, or just it's a lot shorter to have it like this. And then lastly, this is something I have used in a different video. I did an affiliate, I did a video on Site Guru, and I made an affiliate video about it. And in my video, I linked to this, and if people go to it, it's my affiliate, it redirects to my affiliate link for it. Okay, one of my plugins was messing with the redirect. But anyway, if you go like here, it redirects. So these are real examples of Cloudflare Workers I use for my own site. And the redirect looks something like this. So I use them myself. And for this video, I'll probably have a redirect something like this, and then it will redirect to this. Instead of having this really long link, you can use the shorter link. And like I said, for this video, you can just copy this and use this code for your own Cloudflare worker. And again, once you have the route set up, then hopefully it should work. But to edit the code and to modify and so on, to modify the code, change things, make new redirects and so on, this is how you would do it. So you're going to edit the code and make sure if you add a new link, you deploy it or save it. Okay, so this was a tutorial on how to do redirects with Cloudflare Workers. It's incredibly useful, incredibly powerful. I use it myself. And I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.